Hey guys, my name's James.
And I'm Corwyn.
And welcome to This Movie's Gay. Oh, guys, guess what? I'm so exhausted and I'm so hydrated that I was rethinking water recently, Corwyn. Just follow me on this. You know how water...
James said to follow him on this because I'm just giving him that look. You know the look. The look you give.
Hey.
That's what I'm giving.
Think about this. You know how water, when it freezes, it turns instantly into ice?
I mean, not instantly, but yes.
There's no in-between.
I mean, sort of. Slushies.
No. Slushies are ice chunks, but it's because it's in constant motion of, like it's tumbling in the machine.
Well, I know I've taken an ice cube tray out of a freezer and it's got the water in the middle and you've got a little pocket of water.
Oh, but no. But there's no in between of it's either ice or it's water.
Well, that's because the three states of matter are liquid, solid, and gas.
But let's say a semi-solid, like a toothpaste. What if ice started getting like jelly?
Gelled?
You know those squeeze tubes of candy? It was like a candy gel. It had a very weird texture and it was nothing but sugar.
I mean, I don't know if gel is non-Newtonian.
But wouldn't it be cool if water had a in-between where it was a jelly type consistency?
I mean, you can make jelly water.
What?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying in nature, wouldn't that be amazing? Like to squeeze out a tube of jelly water into your mouth?
No.
It'd be fun.
But also, isn't that water that you can drink heavy water? There's a water that you specifically drink when you're having issues. I don't know what medical issue it is, but there's a water that you can drink that it's heavier, so it's easier to drink.
That's weird.
You. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
But is it jelly?
No, it's not jelly.
Oh,
it's just kind of thicker, I think.
Oh, no. Ugh, that's...
thick water.
That sounds like the water at Northside Pub in Muskegon, Michigan.
Oh,
you know how when you have a Starburst that's like the cream flavored, it's like the berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream. I think that was Skittles,
that
maybe.
Was Skittles.
But, it's like a milky flavor or a creamy flavor. Picture that, but the water version... It's disgusting. It's at this restaurant in Muskegon. It's notorious for having bad water on that side of the street. I believe there's one other restaurant over there that has this same weird tasting water. It doesn't affect the pizzas though.
That's weird and gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I think Russ's also has the problem, but they've tried to fix it so many times. They've tried different purifying methods, all of this stuff. And it also, I believe, affects the soft drinks. It's weird, guys. But hey, hashtag jelly water if you're down with it at This Movie's Gay.
No.
It'd be fun time snacks.
I'm from Memphis, or outside of
Tennessee.
Memphis. So Memphis's water is notoriously delicious and amazing.
Okay.
Its tap water is top-notch best.
Okay, think of a sweet tea, but jelly.
I mean, these things can exist. I can get you gelatin and we can make these things, James.
All you have to do is put it in the freezer for, let's say iced tea. If you wanted to do some iced tea cubes, what you would do is put it in for 30 minutes. However, we just put it in for 15 minutes and then it's a nice jelly, kind of like hair gel consistency.
I wouldn't like that, James, because that means every time you have ice that it would melt, it would start making your water or whatever very viscous.
Nice.
That does not sound nice.
Oh man, but think about it on the beach or for mixed drinks, even though alcohol doesn't freeze. But if you put some water and alcohol, it does freeze because that's, you can't do that at, for dad's alcohol table.
Depends on the alcohol if it freezes or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, vodka won't freeze, but wine is going to freeze.
Okay. For real?
Yeah.
I'm straight edge. Remember that, guys. I, for real, do not know anything about it.
I just once had a friend put a bottle of wine in the freezer to get it cold faster, and then she forgot about it, and I went into my freezer, and I was like, oh, great, this is a frozen bottle of rosé.
Now, I do know, was it open?
No.
Okay, now I do know if you had probably left it in there longer, it would have exploded?
It depends on how much air is in there and how much the pressure is, because when water freezes, it expands.
Yeah.
Because once it goes into a solid and those molecules come together, it's in a larger state than whenever they were in a liquid.
And
takes
wine
up more space.
Is old grape juice, and grape juice is the sweat of a grape, and
I don't know where
sweat
you're
is
going with
water.
that. Okay.
So water freezes, so does wine.
Oh my God.
Wine, guys, guess what? It's old grape sweat.
Okay, so this week on This Movie's Gay, we watched the wonderful movie You Should Meet My Son from 2010.
Which I thought it was going to be a movie like, if you think that's bad, you should meet my son.
No.
But it's so much better than that.
It's a little heartfelt movie. It's nice. The Amazon Prime description of it says it won like 12 awards for
At
Best Picture at
festivals.
festivals. So I didn't know that. That's cool. I've seen this movie multiple times.
And I've seen the trailer once.
I showed James the trailer to convince him to watch it once, and I don't know why we didn't watch it at the time.
Maybe we had to purchase it.
Maybe, yeah.
That could
I
be
purchased it this time. If you're going to purchase this movie, not Amazon Prime. It's cheaper everywhere else. Go to YouTube.
Or
go to Google.
It could have been this. It could have been after Monster Pies, and you were like, well, let's try this one. And I said, no, I get to choose this one. You freaking fooled me. Actually,
and that's when you had me watch the awful movie. And then also we
Gay
went
Bed and
to
Breakfast of
Vampire Boys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do want to say, I believe by now, especially after Birdcage, hey guys, watch Birdcage. You've redeemed yourself for...
I've redeemed myself ages ago.
I don't know about that.
The only thing you had wrong with it is that it made you sad.
Well, no, you described it incorrectly, Corwyn.
I definitely described it way incorrectly, but it was still a good movie.
Sad movie.
It was
but
sad,
good.
but it was good. See, you chose Make-A-Wish, which you
Oh my God.
keep saying is the worst movie we've ever watched.
Yeah.
So that was on you.
was.
That was you. You haven't redeemed yourself for that.
I know I haven't.
Oh my God. So we watched this movie. I've seen this movie so many times. It's one of the movies that I like to sit down and watch whenever I'm just kind of feeling down a little bit, because it's a nice little heartfelt movie. There are a couple moments where you're like, ooh, geez, especially when Jenny Sue is talking. Some of the stuff she says, you're like, oh God.
That actress has to be a stage actor.
Oh, definitely.
Because she is screaming. It's like, dude, you know there's a sound system near you.
I'm a stage actor. I definitely, at rehearsal the other day, the director was like, Corwyn, a little loud. Bring it down. That was me.
You're like, I'm so used to speaking into this microphone that James tells me to scream into.
James tells me to scream, so I scream. No, actually, I'm not even doing my stage voice right now. My stage voice is very loud.
Ooh, playing to the back of the room.
I really was, but it's not something that you need in a smaller space, which we're in right now.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I can regulate my tone and volume.
Frank is the back of the room here.
Frank, I'm always talking to you.
Frank is also in a cupboard right now, so...
That's why I'm talking to him very loud.
Yeah.
Through the curtain, through the cupboard.
He probably has plastic bags plugged into his ear saying, get out of here. That's what he uses as pillows.
Well, he shouldn't put them on his head.
Oh, no, I'm constantly terrified of that. But we stuff the bags into another bag, so there's no bags for him to put over his head. And say, guys, I'm a little ghost. And we're like, you're about to be a ghost, dude.
Oh, geez, Frank. So anyway, James, why don't you give a brief synopsis of this movie?
All right, guys, I can do that for sure.
Is this how many, have we done this before? Have we had you give a synopsis in a while?
We've done this, but oh, no, not in a while.
It's been a while.
I think it's been 6 weeks since Fourth Man Out.
Did you give a description for Fourth Man Out?
I think we both did.
Yeah,
but it was a
back
very
and forth.
simple one.
Yeah.
And this one is
all right,
too.
Go.
So,
go.
Brian, that's the dude's name?
Brian.
So he's the focal character, but not the main character. His mom, May, and his aunt, Rose.
Yes.
Holy shit, I'm doing good. Everyone else's name, I don't know. Dennis, though. He's dating Dennis at the beginning. And they go over to his mom's house for the past 5 years.
Sunday dinners.
Yeah, she's been trying to every single day, says, hey, meet my son, and has a new lady every single week. Oh, man. I bet the fellas and some of the ladies out there are like, ooh, I wish I had a new girl each week. Mwah. Kissing each other.
I don't know why I'm having you do this. If you're going to do that, James, come on.
Okay, so I'm livening up the freaking thing, bro. And Brian hasn't told his mother he is gay. So we then flash forward another week and Brian's looking distressed and Rose and May are like, what's wrong, Brian?
Dennis isn't with him.
What's wrong? Where's Dennis, the menace? And he's like, well, he's a menace because he doesn't like the furniture around, but he has a new lady across from him and she's a lawyer of taxes. Hey, no taxation without representation. That's what Alexander Hamilton might have said. And, you know, Alexander Hamilton, we don't know what he thought about the LGBTQ community. He could have been a prick about that. However, we do know that he was a progressive thinker. And on top of all of that, we're back to the movie, guys. He and Dennis broke up. He can't tell his mom because he hasn't come out to his mom yet. However, this lady who is a tax lawyer figures it out within a minute. And she's like, whoa, bro, I'm going to tease you a little bit in front of your mom and try to get some information out of you. She did jokes like that. And she would emphasize words of like, I think she did like, what about a new end table? Which I didn't, like maybe she meant butt? I don't know.
No, she meant bringing someone else into the relationship.
Well, that's what I like. It
like
then
having a
turned
third.
into it. And then
Being open.
He said, no, I'm not going to do that, bro. I'm friggin' monogamy, baby. And, you know, have just one baby, guys. That's what monogamy means.
Oh my God.
You
You're
know,
getting so distracted. You haven't even gotten past the first 5
hold
minutes
on,
of the
hold on.
movie.
That would be monogamy. Yeah.
Oh my God. I said brief. You're like
Okay,
giving
now
a play-by-play.
Now I will flat, because then it gets very simple. They go outside and the mom and Rose are thinking, oh my God, this is the couple that's going to work out. And they overhear them outside and the tax lawyer says, well, you're gay, so I should hook you up with someone. And then they're like, whoa, spiral. But then they figure out after going to conversion therapy to figure out if this is where they should bring their son, who's, I guess, in his late 20s.
He's 30.
You can't do that to a 30-year-old. That's kidnapping.
Don't do that to anyone.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, I meant in more of a, like, you can't bring someone to an inpatient thing. But you know what I mean, Corwyn.
Oh my God.
But yes, no one should be going to conversion therapy.
I'm going to take over this
I was
synopsis.
trying to...
Okay.
No. I want to keep doing it, Corwyn. I'll flash forward. Then they're like, holy shit, we love my son no matter what. We don't want him to change, but we want him to be happy. And he was happy with Dennis, who he was dating Dennis. Then they go to a gay club. They find people to hang out with. They become more culturally aware of everything pretty much. And Brian is fiancéed. He put a ring on it, guys, but it's just because he's trying to give his mother what he thinks his mother wants, but in the end, his mother just wants him to be happy and not in a loveless, unhappy marriage, because love is happiness.
He also wants kids and he wants to settle down. He is upset that he's no longer with Dennis after 5 years.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of stuff there. He's also never come out to his mom, so even though she knows at the point that he has a fiance, he's still going through with it because he's like, no, I'm just going to change because I am tired.
Yeah, and it was also a lack of communication on the mom's part, because just tell your son, like, hey, I know, if instead of just trying to, I don't know why I'm doing this around the mic, I'm doing like a circular motion. Instead of going behind his back and surprising him with a boy.
We'll talk about that. Finish the synopsis.
Oh, I thought I was finished. He ends up...
So he fiancé to a lady, and the lady is very conservative Christian, very no alcohol, no any of this. We're going to move to a gated community, all of that.
A Christian gated community.
A Christian gated community and all of that. Very... Yeah, very.
Except they were upset about Mormons moving in. Mormons are a form of Christianity.
Yeah, but Mormons are that form of Christianity that all the other Christians look at and they're like, ooh. Anyway, the mom sets up this big dinner party with a bunch of people from the LGBTQ community and then watches chaos ensue. And then at the end, she has a talk with her son and a good cry. And he's like, okay, I'm going to, not do this just to move on from Dennis. I'm going to actually try to live my best life and be gay and all that. And that's the end of the movie.
It is. And I wanted to get to something.
Okay.
So in order to figure out, is that still recording?
Yes, it's still recording. You're at 18 minutes.
Oh, man, guys, we're good. So in the beginning of the movie, they're like, my son can't be gay. But Rose is like, I have the perfect idea. She pulls out a Glamour magazine.
July 1991, Glamour magazine.
Has, when you're doing research on a book or...
Is my son gay or is my boyfriend gay?
So they're doing this quiz and the magazine has, those tab things when you're doing book research.
She did tabs.
Yes.
She has research.
And they take this quiz. Now, I wish Nicole were here.
Okay.
Because I do have a is your boyfriend gay quiz. So I am going to act as if I'm Nicole. I think I know her. Also, I know me to kind of,
okay.
take this quiz. So the first question.
I approve of this message.
How often do you have sex with your man? Now, I know the number. However, I know the number I would like to.
No, you need to do the real number. You don't have to say it on. You don't have to say it. Just click it.
Okay, then I will not say that. Has your man ever dressed up in women's clothes? I do want to read some of these pics. The first one is, I'm laughing so hard I can't even answer that. Well, fuck this quiz. I've caught him in my closet several times. My man has a fetish for dressing up in women's clothes, only for costume parties. My man wouldn't be caught dead in women's clothes regardless of the occasion. Now, I don't know which one I should pick for this, but I guess...
I don't like this quiz. Just
stop this.
Just stop it.
Okay.
Let's do the quiz from the movie. What was the quiz from the movie? Do you have pictures of Michelangelo's David?
I have
anywhere
zero.
Zero. Okay. Do you have a subscription to Men's Fitness magazine?
I have no subscription. Well, I had a subscription to Mad Magazine. Does that count?
Well, no,
okay,
not at all.
Zero subscription.
What were the other questions? I don't remember.
Don't remember either.
I didn't write them down. But since you said no and zero, I'm going to say not gay.
Oh, man.
That's according to Glamour magazine, July 1991 issue. I also want to point out that Googling am I gay is very similar to what happened with that, let's take a quiz from Glamour magazine to see if Brian's gay.
Yeah.
Which, most queer people have done that, as far as I know, and it's sort of a joke in the community in a way. That if you're ever questioning and stuff when you're trying to figure everything out, you just go to Google and you're like, am I gay? And if there are any quizzes, you take them. And you're like, is this it? Is this it? Am I gay? What are the signs? All of that. So I enjoyed that they had that in the movie, even though some of it is a little dated and stereotypical and misogynist a little bit. So it's great. I enjoyed particular parts of the movie, but that one specifically hit home a bit because I was definitely one of those that was like, am I gay? Delete Google search history.
If you pointed out a nice looking guy to your man, he would nonchalantly agree with you, express sheer adulteration for the hottie or adulation for the hottie, ignore you, say he doesn't judge men by what they look like, stare far too long at said hunk. There's no...
So, that just seems like that's going very stereotypical. It seems like it's not considering men to be secure in their sexuality at all.
Yeah.
I've definitely known straight men, straight up straight men, no gay inclinations at all, that are, if you point out a guy to him, they're like, yeah, he's hot.
There's no choice here because what Nicole would put is... he would spiral into a deep depression from body dysmorphia and doubt, thinking maybe he's not as good enough for Nicole as this said man. So I guess ignore you, but oh
Stop
boy.
taking that quiz, James.
I just want to know the
Put
questions.
It down. The questions aren't good.
How many gay friends does your man have?
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
I have a lot of straight friends.
One of them is none. He's not open-minded like that. A couple. Most of his friends are gay. And now, guess what? Yes, most of my friends are gay. Or,
Good.
Queer.
Queer.
Yes. Which of the following is your man most likely to listen to? What? There's no Sean Price on here. I don't know. Okay, this is fucking crazy. I am on a different website and it kicked me. Wait, it kicked me off again. Like whenever I try to take a quiz.
It's because you have a shitty phone.
This isn't a phone. It's an iPod.
You have a shitty iPod.
Oh my God. I guess no thanks. Oh, wait, no. It for some reason, it was just an ad, I guess. Okay, it's ABBA, Barbra Streisand, The Smiths, Eraser. I don't know who that is. Jay-Z, Neil Diamond, Linkin Park, Godsmack, Celine Dion, The Bee Gees. I guess ABBA out of all of these. I think Jay-Z's boring and Linkin Park did an album with Jay-Z. I wish the Carpenters was on here.
You are the dancing queen, James.
I did answer ABBA, but also it then goes to a second page that says, here's what you answered. Which movie would your man most enjoy? Die Harder, The Birdcage, My Best Friend's Wedding, Brokeback Mountain, Evita, Platoon. Well, The Birdcage, obviously.
That movie was great.
All right, now it's getting cooking, guys. This is why are quizzes so long? Has your man ever...
I told you to stop. Why are you still going?
But has your man ever kissed another man? He has. I don't know about it, but if he has, I don't know about it. One time in college, absolutely not. I have my suspicion, no, but he's kissed a whole lot of women. I guess one time in college would be my choice, because it has been one time. How does your man feel about porn? I'm married to an aficionado. God, this quiz is stupid. He has it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, man, he's fucking nutting. Every now and then.
I hate this.
He has one porn video that a friend gave him. Ladies, he's not being honest. Or men, he's not being honest. My man is disgusted by porn. He likes porn featuring two men. I guess for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I do masturbate a lot. At least 3 times a day. I start getting antsy, guys. I'm addicted to it. I have a problem. Which hobby would your man most likely Why is this so long? Fucking none of these, but I guess bowling?
James, why are you so committed to this, but you wouldn't take the Harry Potter quiz?
I did take the Harry Potter quiz, but remember it kept busting on me. Oh, you're saying why don't I sign up for Pottermore? I don't know. Stop asking me for advertisements. No thanks. Click it or tick it. Which best describes your man's attitude towards homosexuality? He's a member of the Gay Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation. I guess that. He's over the top about how much it offends him. He tolerates it. He doesn't agree with it, but keeps his feelings to himself. He doesn't feel, I guess, the I'm part of GLAAD, even though I'm not a member, but that's the best describing of me. Corwyn, start talking about the movie and I'll keep taking this.
Oh my God. Okay, so I've seen this movie many times. One of the things I like about it is how much representation it has, in that it has more than most of the other movies. Yay, representation. It's got those nice little moments, like I said earlier, with the Glamour magazine thing that aren't over the top, but still a little funny. And let's see, May and Rose are great. May is definitely a Southern mother that hits very close to home for me, because I am Southern, and I could easily see my mother falling into that role if we had more of a stable home growing up.
Yeah.
Definitely falling into what May does with the Sunday dinners, with the constantly bringing over girls to try to get a wife for Brian, all of that. I also like May's acceptance, because in the beginning it shows her as very conservative and very not great. So she wants Brian to get married and have grandchildren and all of that. But whenever she finds out that her hairdresser is queer, she immediately drops him and goes to a different hairdresser. So she shows like little homophobic tendencies and stuff. But as soon as she finds out Brian is gay, she's like, oh shit, what did I do wrong? All of that. And goes and has sort of a journey going to the conversion therapy thing, which we all agree is terrible.
Yes.
Does not work and is just harmful for everyone that is forced through that. So she sees that. She's like, no. And then she talks to Brian and is like, are you happy? And sort of sees that he's not happy. And then goes to Rose again. And Rose is like, I don't want to change Brian. And May's like, I don't either. I just want him to be happy. So then she goes on that journey of going and opening herself up to different communities, going to a gay club and meeting a bunch of different people and getting to know them and really coming to accept the LGBTQ community. And one of the things that shows that I really love about the movie and what they do so subtly with that is that opening yourself up to these communities and stuff that aren't necessarily mainstream, that are still good and all of that, opening yourself up to them when you don't really accept them can lead to growth in yourself, morally, all of that. It can lead to growth. So she comes from the beginning of the movie to dropping her hairdresser towards the end of the movie, hosting, LGBTQ events in her home.
Yeah.
That just goes to show, like, experience other cultures, experience other things, especially if it's something that you're experiencing a fear of in the essence of like homophobia, stuff like that. Go, like, experience that, because a lot of those things are beautiful. And that goes to show the same with like other cultures, like people who are Islamic and Jewish and like all of those other religions and stuff like that. Like, experience the people that are part of those religions, because really getting to know the people is really eye-opening in that it helps you become a better person.
Yeah.
And accepting more people overall. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, and as long as you don't start fetishizing them, you're doing good. And also, guys, even if you're afraid of it, please don't try and expose yourself to wolf culture. They will bite you. I was also going to say bacteria cultures. They will make you sick.
Oh my God.
I do want to mention, so where does your man shop for his clothes? There is he doesn't, I buy them all, but there is no option. He doesn't, he's still wearing clothes from high school as a 28-year-old man. But I guess we're going to do, he doesn't, he gets them, I buy them all.
I don't think that shirt you're wearing right now from Frank, with Frank on it, is from high school.
Nicole made it.
Yeah.
So I guess she bought this for me. This is gross. How does your man feel about lesbians and bisexual women? The first one is, he likes to watch. He likes to participate. He encourages them to live their life how they want to. Nice. He has many female friends who are gay, or I like that should be comboed together. But he thinks they're disgusting. This quiz is so on the head. There's no middle ground. I don't know. But yes, he has many female friends who are gay.
Oh my God.
How many male strangers does your man have on his social media networking sites? Too many to count.
I guess 30 minutes.
Oh man. I'm on question number 17. We're going to figure out if Nicole's man is gay.
How many questions are there?
19.
Oh my God.
I know. These quizzes are way too long. Which actor would your man say is his favorite? Angelina Jolie, Ian McKinley, Matthew Broderick, John Travolta, Judy Garland, Chuck Norris. None of these.
Angelina.
I guess Matthew Broderick, he's funny in 30 Rock as Cooter Burger.
I love Matthew Broderick.
All right, final question.
He's in The Producers, which we should also watch, I guess.
Let's do it. Which TV show is your man most likely to watch? American Idol, House, whatever's on ESPN, a beauty pageant, America's Next Top Model, whatever we agree on watching together. I guess it would be that. Let's find out.
I hate this.
Almost done. You gotta be... Oh, okay. We're busy calculating. I thought it was going to make me sign up for shit. It does. Sign up and continue to my results. Oh my God. I have to put in an old email address.
Oh my God. All right. Other notes that I've got. Dating montage in the beginning's pretty great.
I thought this was going to be really quick, guys.
You did not.
I should have done this. Your man is really in touch with his feminine side. We're not saying your man is gay. We're just saying he might be gay. Fuck this stupid ass. Guys, don't go to mydailymoment.com. Fuck them.
I told you it was a bad quiz.
Maybe he's the consummate metrosexual, or maybe the signs point to the fact that there is something he's not telling you, like the fact that he likes men. What the fuck?
So another thing from the movie that I'm just going through my notes. I wrote down a quote because whenever May first comes around to Brian being gay and everything, she goes to confront Dennis at Dennis's new place and is like sort of helping him unpack and all of that. And he's like, May, what are you doing here? And she's just like, by the way, when were you going to tell me you've been sodomizing my son? And just like this, she tells it like she's got like a secret that she wants him to know. The way she says it just gets to me every time because Dennis is so thrown off and like, what the,
excuse me?
Yeah.
It also, I don't know if they start doing it at the end. One thing when it comes to some gay movies that makes me uncomfortable is that, or maybe it's like they're doing it because this is what people think, that it's all about sex. It's never about romance when it comes to queer communities. And it's just like you wouldn't say that to
a straight couple.
Yes, you wouldn't say to a woman,
yeah. That's
actually,
also very,
you want to know what? My mom might.
That's part of what I want to talk about with that specifically is May epitomizes that like little pushy sense that some mothers have that I definitely can relate to, and that there are things that you don't need to know, Mom.
Yeah.
You don't need to know.
Yep.
And May's like, oh, what about this? And then she's like, oh, too much information. Don't tell me. But it's like, you were pushing it there, May. What are you doing?
I
don't also really like that term sodomizing just because it's so visceral and so like it has such a stigma to it.
Yeah. And it's just the Bible thumpers have appropriated it to be an evil thing.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, Sodom and Gomorrah and all of that. But there's way other stories behind that story that you can look into. People that study religion and stuff, I've had conversations about it. It's definitely one of those stories that people misconstrue to say, oh, gay people because they're sodomites and blah, 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 and they were doing this and they were gay, all of that. But it's not. That's not what that story is about.
Okay, so back on the like, maybe it's not just for an ex-girlfriend's dad who was a drunk was like, are you like doing, I don't like, he was saying much more creepy things. I don't want to be that creepy, but pretty much saying like, oh, are you doing sexual stuff with my daughter? And
that's weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you better believe the just pure embarrassment on her face.
So luckily we didn't have that with May or Rose.
Yes.
Rose did touch the florist delivery person's butt. And you're like, Rose, what are you doing? Stop being creepy. Rose was a little creepy at points. But she also is the one that met Fantasia and sort of brought Fantasia and Salsa around. The character names are real weird.
Yeah.
And at the end, you sort of meet Kitty as well, who is another queen that you don't meet until the very end when everything is going crazy. And Kitty knows the pastor, who is Jenny Sue's father, and is like all over him. So that's a really weird thing. That scene at the end where everything is going crazy and May's just standing back and like has her hands like on her chest or on her face and is just watching, just seeing the beautiful chaos that she has created. I'm like, that's me. That's peak my favorite thing. Just inviting all of that in front of these super conservative, super backwards, super awful people and watching chaos ensue.
And the first thing that started this chaos is something I have down, which I want to follow up, was Chase. He's an artist. He's going to art school, which one of my favorite...
He's also the male stripper.
Yes, one of my favorite lines was, oh, what do you do aside from stripping? And he goes, oh, I'm in art school. And then there's just a pause and she goes, oh, because she wants a doctor.
Yeah. So yeah, she's like, and then he's like, oh, what's wrong? And she's like, just letting go of a dream. That's it. Because she wants her son to marry a doctor. Which is very great if you think about it, because she wants her son, who is a teacher, to marry a doctor. And whenever she's doing that, in the very beginning, she's wanting the person to be a doctor or a lawyer or someone that's like one of those big special jobs, which they are special, that they're very necessary for society. But that's not to discredit people that go to art and all of that. But she wants one of those traditional big jobs like that, or a doctor, lawyer, something like that. And she is looking for Brian to have a wife. So May is all about women empowerment, getting job as a doctor, going to school for that, doing those big jobs. And even when she's going on and trying to find Brian a husband, she's still looking for that same thing. She's like, lawyer, doctor, that's what I want for my son. There's just like that sort of idea that May's like, nope, I want him to have, someone with a fancy job, lots of money to take care of him so that he can take care of the kids that he wants and take care of his children that he teaches and all of that.
She might also, because he is a public school teacher, might be like, well, he needs someone who can keep him stable.
That's what I mean. She's not saying, oh, Brian should have gone out to go and be a doctor or anything like that. She's like, I'm okay if my son-in-law or my daughter-in-law is a doctor. I'm okay that my son's not. But she's also okay if they're an artist, like Chase.
And speaking of, he reveals a nude painting of George W. Bush, and this dude has a hog on him. And it started making me think, wonder what president has the biggest dick. Like, I wish that were, when you go on Wikipedia.
You wish that was a Wikipedia entry?
Yeah, so like it shows, how long their term was, from when to when, maybe their profession before or what they did after, like that sidebar, when they were born, all of that. You just want
penis size on there.
And like, actresses and actors have how tall they are on Wikipedia, who their spouses were, all of this stuff. Dick size, all presidents. Because, also, then there would be huge Watergate type scandals of a president lying about their dick size. Holy shit. And then it would also make these like sniveling, just like absolute worst politicians or just absolute worst people who aren't confident about their penis size not run for president. Because then that is now public record how big your dick is.
So really, I'm glad that that's not a thing, is all I'm going to say.
I'm going to say I am not glad that's not a thing.
It's not about penis size, James. It's not about penis size.
Hold on. But what it would do is maybe start to teach everyone that it's not about penis size. It's about how great of a leader you will be, and start molding boys to become wonderful citizens and kind people, instead of just being like, oh, I have a small dick, that means I'm going to be mean to people to overcompensate. It would be good, because if everyone is like, as a kid, you're like, oh, I want to be a firefighter. You want to know what? Maybe all firefighters, you have to show your dick size. Hey, I want to be an astronaut. Guess what, astronauts? Tell us how big your dick is.
It's the same thing, not showing your dick size.
And then, guess what? Oh, I want to be president one day. You got to show how big your dick is. But guess what, ladies? You don't have to tell us a goddamn thing, because you want to know what? You know what the fuck you're doing. Men don't. Men need to be taught, like, hey, you don't need to worry about your dick size. Women aren't going around like, oh no, I have too tight of a vagina, or like, oh man, it's just a gaping friggin' orifice down there. No, they're not. James. They're like, hey, I'm confident in what I have down there.
Okay, I'm gonna, that painting being brought out was great, especially because they just throw it into the pastor's hands at one point. Also, if you notice on the painting, I've seen this so many times, but George Bush's face itself has the most detail on it. Like the body is just like classical sort of nude modeling like body. And then you see the face and it's like a very detailed George W. Bush painting.
What I think happened there was
they superimposed George W. Bush on into
like it was already a painting because his dick was as big as his head in that painting. It was gigantic compared to the head.
I also like that May had Chase paint that. And then I also like that May was like, oh, that's great. Let me guess. Emperor has no clothes. And he's like, yeah, I'm glad you got it. I didn't know if you would. And then she's like, I'm going to hang it up right now. It's a story.
Oh, okay.
It's an old story. I am not going to tell the story right now because I will probably get it wrong. But basically, it was like this emperor that got everything he wanted. And there was, I don't know, something about it. But he got a seamstress or seamster, somebody to make him clothes. They wanted all these things, the best clothes ever, blah, blah, blah. They made him nothing. And they were like, oh no, it's the best. And then he was basically nude.
Kinky.
You're
like, I don't know the moral of the story,
guys. I don't remember
guys.
anything about the story. I apologize to everyone that loves that story, that knows exactly what the moral is. I apologize. For my brief description of it.
Because it could be him then saying, like, you want to know what? I don't need material possessions. Or him saying, like, oh, wow, I have the fanciest clothes around, and goes to, like, a big dinner party and just with his thang wangin', and he's like, yeah, guys, this is the fanciest thing, and he doesn't learn a fucking thing.
I don't think that's it. It's let me Google it.
Yeah, Corwyn's on his phone now, and I will go. One of my favorite lines from this was they were in the line for the gay bar, and they see a guy on a leash, and May goes, are you a good dog man? And then the dog man barks at her.
Okay, so it's a Hans Christian Andersen tale. It's about two weavers who promise an emperor a new suit of clothes that they say is invisible to those who are unfit for their positions, stupid or incompetent. Well, in reality, they make no clothes at all, making everyone believe the clothes are invisible to them. When the emperor parades before his subject in his new clothes, no one dares to say that they do not see any suit of clothes on him for fear that they will be seen as stupid. Finally, a child cries out, but he isn't wearing anything at all.
Nice.
So that's the story. Basically, emperor has no clothes because the clothes are magic and they don't appear to on people that are incompetent. And they're saying the emperor is incompetent.
Well, guess what? Hey, guys, if I got that, I'd charge back because I paid for clothes, not a fucking lesson.
You deserve the lesson, James.
Yeah, not if I'm paying for it.
You pay for lessons. You pay for school.
I guess I did. Community college.
Some people do. There are places. We should pay our teachers. That's the moral of that story.
Yeah. Hey, Corwyn.
What's up?
If there's devil's alcohol, what's Jesus's alcohol? I was thinking maybe like a nice honeydew water.
Jesus' alcohol is wine. And that's why they say in there, they're talking about whenever the pastor and his wife are like, oh, we don't imbibe in the devil's alcohol. And they're talking about it in the Bible, and the pastor's like, it's right there in the Bible. And then May goes, oh, really? I must have missed that verse.
Yeah, but you do drink. He turned water into wine.
Yeah, and the pastor is trying to say that it's because he's doing it, but his guests aren't supposed to imbibe in it. But no, Jesus drank wine. And the reason they drank wine back then is because the water wasn't great.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And
everyone
grape juice hadn't been invented yet. So...
Ooh, give me some grape juice, guys.
Grape juice wasn't invented until like what? The 1600s?
Until Smuckers.
I don't know.
Ooh.
1800. It was pretty late.
You ever have a quenching
AD.
For some delicious grapes, but oh man, that skin is too hard to bite through? Have some delicious Smucker's grape juice. It's
not
so good.
Advertising for
it
Smuckers.
Makes you pop.
Stop it. Jesus.
Man, get some grape sweat in you, baby.
I actually had a pastor one day. It was I had to go to church, y'all, because I grew up in the South. It's 53 minutes, by the way.
Uh-oh.
So I listened to an interim pastor, and they were talking about, he was trying to say that wasn't a thing, Jesus turning it into wine, that it was grape juice and they didn't drink wine. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is ridiculous. That was around the time that I was starting to realize I was gay, and then like sort of seeing that the people in authority in organized religions aren't necessarily the best at what they do, and telling me that there wasn't wine in the Bible, it was grape juice, when that shit wasn't invented until recently. Yeah.
That's why you should trust most of the time religious scholars over people who are just trying to make money off from the texts.
Also, make sure to read. Also, make sure to question. Question. There's a lot of things. Like, the Bible wasn't written in English, y'all. It's translated. It's been translated many times over centuries. And those translations are very prevalent to what was going on politically at the time. So that's why we have things like the thing they always say in Leviticus, man shall not lie with man. That's not even a correct translation. There are people that have Bibles that are ancient, that are hundreds of years old, that the translation isn't that. The translation is man shall not lie with young boys. So it's saying men shall not be pedophiles. So it's different. It's all translations, all of that. You have to look at what you're reading, and you have to look at why it was translated to that at the time. And the modern translation that we read all the time in a lot of Southern churches and things like that have stuff against homosexuality, all of that was put in the Bible very recently, within the last 500 years. So read.
And guess what?
Research.
Jesus, last time I checked, his birthday's coming up in a few months. Turning 2019, baby, plus 34. Because remember, it's after Anno Domini, after Christ.
All right.
And he's 2019 plus 34. That's all I know.
All right. I'm going to get through my quotes and notes. I basically had quotes. Rose creeping. Them being like, oh, where'd you meet your boyfriend? And he goes, on the internet. And they go, at the internet? Like the internet's a physical place that they could go to meet someone. They have flashlights in the club.
Checking out some nipple piercings.
She's checking out some nipple piercings. At one point, Brian turns to his mother and is like, do you know that they're all? And then she goes, delightful?
Yeah.
Beautiful comment. Love that so much.
Corwyn, is Daughters of the Confederacy a real thing?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, fuck people.
Yes, exactly. And then Brian says, you're hanging out with male strippers? And she just goes, just the one.
Oh, Rose loves a tight bun.
Rose loves a hiney.
They also do, he's going to get a paper cut on his peen, and they then say, fold the bill so you won't get a paper cut on your peen.
She goes, I can do it. I'm very good at denial. Also a very Southern thing.
Oh, talking about Sue, Jenny Sue, Brian goes, she's a sweet girl. And then May says, she's practically cotton candy. Which Nicole used to say I was so sweet that I gave her diabetes.
Oh my God. So sweet. Disgusting.
Nicole, if you're not listening, which I know you are, mwah.
Oh my God. The pastor's like, I always said if anyone can turn a queer man straight, it's my Jenny Sue. And then May's like, oh, you actually went around saying that?
Which is, it's disgusting.
Weird and disgusting. That's all the things I've got that I haven't talked about yet.
Then one more quote. I don't care if you're gay, a Democrat, or French. Those things. Also, Corwyn, this would be really cool. I would love to get like an old gay in here one day, and then like a teen gay in here. They were talking about youth groups, and it would just be cool to like see the generational gaps of like just to learn more. Like, what's a teen gay up to? What's a 50-year-old gay up to?
I don't know. I don't really know any teen gays.
I don't know. I only know people my age.
Exactly.
And we got to have a finger on the youth culture and on the middle-age culture.
Saying I should be a better role model. Greg definitely needed a better role model. That's something else there are some moments in the movie that you're like, what the fuck? Especially like when Jinisu's talking, there's definitely some things in there that you're going to be like, ooh. And a lot of it has to do with Jinisu and the conservative parents and stuff like that. But then you also have Greg showing up to the club and he's 16. May's the only one that knows he's 16. But at one point, he definitely shows himself.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone shows himself to them and it's like, no, he's a child. Jesus.
It's just like, I don't want that little thing. Check out what I got.
Yeah. And it's like, he's a child. And May is like dragging him out of the club by his ear. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God May is dragging him out. Stop it.
That's like someone saying like, hey guys, check out my Sega Game Gear. And then another kid comes up and you're like, you think that's cool? Check out my Game Boy SP.
Oh my God. Anyway, would you recommend this movie?
Absolutely. Can I do my question of the week?
Sure.
We might not have enough time, but
it's been an hour.
Okay,
but go ahead.
So we are two people who have lived in the shadow of the AIDS epidemic or the AIDS scare from the 80s. We still had like an overcast of that. However, I don't know if you're still seeing effects from it in the gay community, or like if we had a teen in here, we could ask them, are you afraid, a teen of any sexual orientation, are you afraid of AIDS and STDs as afraid as I am?
I mean, yes. Like, you always have that chance if you're having unprotected sex. So, you know, the thing that people need to pay attention to is protection and sexual education. Make sure you're educated before you are engaging in acts of sex so that you know how to prevent things like STDs and HIV and stuff like that. And if you do have unprotected sex and you're worried about that, make sure to go to the hospital. Make sure that you're talking to medical practitioners and things about that, because there are medicines that you can take whenever you do have unprotected sex to prevent getting HIV. And that exists now. There's a pill you can go and take. You have to take it almost immediately. So you need to go and do that as soon as you have, anything where you think you're gonna be exposed to that virus. Make sure you go do it. But on the other hand, your question about being afraid of that, there is definitely a stigma in the gay community and all of that about having HIV and about getting HIV. And there's a stigma against people that do have HIV in the gay community. They're treated differently. And, it's having HIV is not something that makes them a bad person. So don't treat them like that. And yeah, that's a whole nother issue to get into. And we can actually watch a movie about that whenever you are down to watch another very real movie.
Okay.
We can watch a whole movie about the AIDS epidemic and all of that from the 80s. There are quite a few movies that touch on that subject, and there are a few movies that are about that subject. Needless to say, have protected sex. If you don't use protection, go talk to the doctor about it.
Get tested, guys.
Yeah, get tested. There's ways to get free tests all over the place. If you look it up.
Tell people.
Look it up. Go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor. If you're scared of getting a test, tell them you might have ulcers. They'll do blood work.
I mean, like, literally during Pride Fest and stuff like that here in Chicago, they've got trucks set up. A lot of LGBTQ, like, events and stuff, they'll have a truck where you literally, I've gotten the test many times. You just go in and they prick your finger and put it on a little thing and put some little liquids in it, and it shows up within like 5 minutes.
Dang, that's quick.
You're like, am I HIV positive? No. Great. Am I HIV positive? Yes. Well, here's information, and here is your next steps in care for that. They are still working on that, every day. And I think they've had at least one person that they've been able to cure. They are also, there's things that you can do, medications that they've created that can get your viral count down so that you can have safe sex with your partner, with or without protection. You should always use protection, though. Use protection. That's why it exists. Please use it. It's not just to prevent pregnancies. It's also to prevent STDs and things like that. So use it.
Unless you're like in a 6-year-long relationship and your partner has a vasectomy, then it's fine not to.
Well, you need to discuss that with your partner and all of that, because You need to establish your relationship. Do you have a very committed monogamous relationship? Are you in an open relationship? What? Have either of you been tested before you stop using protection? Things like that. Those are conversations you need to have with your partner before you engage in unprotected sex.
Absolutely. Like if, you have ulcers and you got your blood work done that way. And then you're like, yes, and also you have a vasectomy, so there's nothing to worry about, guys. However, if those very, very specific things don't fall into your category, guys, have protected sex. Also, be afraid of pregnancy. That's one thing you should be afraid of. It's terrifying out there. You don't want a kid if you haven't,
talked about it, had the discussion, yes.
Or feel that you're successful in life.
If you have talked about it, you decide you want children, then yes, go for it. But yeah, that's our hour of talking about this movie. Oh. I would definitely recommend this movie. Again, there are some cringeworthy moments, but it does have some nice diversity in characters. There's still, not enough. There could be more, but it does have some nice stuff to say. And
a lot of the cringeworthy things, I think, were on purpose instead of just too. Like.
That's why I haven't brought them up specifically, because I think they were done on purpose to show that they are cringeworthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty good movie, and it's pretty short. So go ahead and check it out. My plugs, of course, as always, check out my theater company, Saltbox Theater Collective. I'm in a show this summer with them from July 12th through August 4th. It is Macbeth. I am in the show. I will be on stage quite often. You can see me with a big old bushy beard.
I'm seeing him right now.
See me right now with a big old bushy beard. So check out our actual Twitter. God, I was like, what is the name of that website? It's Twitter. I was going to say something completely different and wrong. So Twitter, check us out at This Movie's Gay. Check out our website, www.mlmpod.com/thismoviesgay.
I do that part.
/This Movie's Gay. Check it all out.
Yeah, check us out on Bebo too. I'm
also
kidding.
Check me out on Twitter at Corwynning.
Hey guys, we want to give a big thank you to Kayla, aka Two Grapes. We need to figure out Kayla's social media handle so we can send people there for donating to Marshland Media so we can buy an AC unit. It is about to start getting hot, so we are glad we got this right away. If you would like to either donate because you love listening to us or find out more about my other podcasts, such as Mostly Speaking Sentai, I was going to... You laugh, so now I can't cut it. Dang it. Such as Mostly Speaking Sentai, What the Hellmouth, I'll Get There, and Hit It and Crit It. Or if you'd like to download all of my CDs for completely free, Marsh, Land, Monster. You can also stream it on YouTube or SoundCloud. Please go to www.mlmpod.com. And also, hey, check out Nicole, my lovely betrothed co-host on Mostly Speaking Sentai. She's been either a formal guest on this podcast or an informal guest who pushed me away from the microphone because I was in a wheelie chair.
Yes.
And go check out her artistic stuff. Also, our webcomic Crumbums that I write. She draws. It's about our cat, Frank. It's a talking cat comic. You know how it is. Go to darlinghomebody.com. We need to get a promo code for her, so she knows people are coming from the podcast.
Yeah.
She has awesome prints, tons of artwork. We did a Gigi Allen coloring book. If you know who Gigi Allen is, you will love this coloring book. I came up with the concept. She illustrated it. That's all I've got.
Some real cute stuff, y'all. Check it out. All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye. I can't find the note. I can't. Bye-bye. I'm sitting up nicely for my friend Corwyn.
Use that posture.
For my good friend Corwyn. Hello. How are my levels looking on the screen? How are they?
They're looking fine.
Oh, yeah. Not too loud?
No, only whenever you went to the, like going that was a little above, but...
Ooh, but what about now, Corwyn?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, nice. Is my zipper down? It's
I
not.
don't know.
It's
I'm not going
up.
to look at your zipper.
Oh, no, that was just asking the fans. I'm kidding.
They can't see your zipper?
Hey, they might know mentally. They're like, hey, I've heard James with his zipper down. No, they haven't. But, oh, wait, no, yeah, they have. They've seen my zipper completely off.
Yeah, you did a naked video.
I've done multiple. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Y'all ready for this?
I always assume that when it scrolls by my Facebook feed that it's the same video. I never listen to it anymore. I just assume it's the same one and I just keep going.
Oh, I've been sharing one of them multiple times.
It's probably the same one.
Yeah.
Then. I'm just like, I've heard it. I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Don't want anyone to see this on my screen. It's fine.
This has been a Marshland Media production, produced by James McCullum. For more content, please visit mlmpod.com. To support our network and have access to exclusive podcasts, head over to patreon.com/MLMpod and sign up today.